Boa noite. Mais de 4 milhões de pessoas, sobretudo jovens, fizeram greve há uma semana. Foi o maior protesto ambiental de sempre. E hoje, milhões voltam à rua numa onda que começou na Austrália, nas ilhas do Pacífico, e que vai ligar o mundo ao longo das próximas horas em defesa do planeta. Uma semana que vai ficar para a história como um momento em que o mundo assume, em definitivo, o compromisso de mudar de vida. Ou como oportunidade perdida, e não haverá muitas mais, segundo os cientistas, para impedir que os desastres naturais de hoje sejam o dia-a-dia da amanhã. Em Contagem Decrescente, é a TDM Reportagem, desta semana, da autoria da jornalista Rita Tavares-Teles.
The capital city of Delhi and joining the global strike of climate movement. Unfortunately, I'm not able to join in Macau.
Pronto, eu acho que há muito para ser feito em Macau. Muito para ser feito. E em Macau a economia é muito posta à frente.
I'm going to show you the march now with the local school student. And also international school student as well. And I'm lucky to be part of this movement today, the strike.
Esta mensagem está a ser espalhada de uma forma que nunca foi espalhada. E, portanto, já quase toda a gente, pelo menos, tem consciência de que há um problema e que nós temos que atuar, dependendo de onde estivermos.
So yes, let's go on strike on the climate. So the world, we need to cut down carbon footprint. We need to stop taking oil from the ground. We need to invest in renewable energy. This is a serious issue. It's about the future of the children.
Tem gente que não acredita na crise climática ou no aquecimento global, mas eu sim, e também acredito que o futuro dos jovens depende disso.
Mais de 4 milhões na semana passada. Quantos serão nesta? Num movimento que começou em agosto do ano passado, quando Greta Thunberg decidiu fazer greve à escola todas as sextas-feiras, em nome do futuro. Hoje é uma força da natureza, motivada pela realidade dos factos.
The reason we have taken it to the streets is because of the science.
Climate change is already irreversible. Due to the heat uptake in the ocean, we can't go back. Whatever we do with our emissions, climate change is already irreversible. The report provides evidence for accelerated ice sheet flow in 2 sectors in Antarctica, and it says it might be the onset of irreversible change. The report shows that there's growing scientific evidence that our emissions of greenhouse gases have altered the characteristics of extreme events such as tropical cyclones.
It provides the best available scientific knowledge to empower people, communities, and governments to tackle the unprecedented transitions in all aspects of society, including energy, land and ecosystems, urban and infrastructure, as well as industry.
The message is that right from the first special report on 1.5, we need to take immediate and drastic action to cut emissions right now.
I think Adam is starting.
The big piece is starting to cast. Let me call you back.
Call him back.
Nature is angry. And we fool ourselves if we think we can fool nature. Consider the last few months. July, the hottest months ever. The years 2015 to 2019, the 5 hottest year on the books ever. Seas are rising and oceans are acidifying. Glaciers are melting and corals are bleaching. Droughts are spreading and wildfires are burning. Deserts are expanding and access to water is dwindling. Heat waves are scorching and natural disasters are multiplying. Storms everywhere are more intense, more frequent, more deadly.
The consequences of climate change are catastrophic. These include new diseases, more extreme weather events, food shortages, forced migration, even wars.
But problem is, do they understand the gravity of the situation? And I hope by the time this conference ends, most of the world leaders do.
77 countries, many in the industrialized world, committed to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. 70 countries announced they will boost their national determined contributions by 2020. Well over 100 leaders in the private sector committed to accelerating their move into the green economy. A group of world's largest asset owners, responsible for directing more than $2 trillion committed to move to carbon neutral investment portfolios by 2050. 130 banks, 1/3 of the global banking sector, signed up to align their businesses with the Paris Agreement objectives and the Sustainable Development Goals. We have a long way to go. We are not yet there. Much more is still needed to reach carbon neutrality by 2050 and keep temperature rise to 1.5 degrees by the end of the century.
The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us, we who have to live with the consequences. To have a 67% chance of staying below a 1.5 degrees of global temperature rise, the best odds given by the IPCC, the world had 420 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back on January 1st, 2018. Today, that figure is already down to less than 350 gigatons. With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal.
They will be watching us. Our government is committed to achieving carbon neutrality by 2033. We aim to become carbon negative soon after that, as the first industrial economy in the world.
Tisztelt Hölgyeim és Uraim! Hány fok van ebben a teremben? 17? 18? Reggel óta arról beszélünk, hogy mit kell tenni a klímaváltozás ellen. De hogyha ennek a teremnek a hőmérséklete csak 2-3 fokkal magasabb lenne.
Current nationally determined contributions submitted by the parties to the Paris Agreement would have to be 3 times as ambitious as they currently are to meet the 2-degree target and 5 times as ambitious as they currently are to meet the 1.5-degree target. And that assumes, of course, that these pledges are actually implemented.
Last century, we have seen a rise of about 15 centimeters, and the rise in sea level is accelerating. And we must understand that this rise in mean sea level adds to the surges that are coming from the storms, from the increasing intensity of hurricanes and cyclones. So overall, the challenge for coastlines and for the protection of coastlines is increasing. Something that we would understand to be extreme today may become the new normal tomorrow.
We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Eu sinto que desta vez vai ser levado muito mais a sério estes compromissos que eles assumiram, porque agora temos uma coisa que nós antes não tínhamos, que é a atenção de muita gente no mundo inteiro.
Hello everyone. Right now I'm on an island called Aotearoa Island of East Timor. This place is by far the most beautiful island that I have been visited in terms of the most beautiful, diverse marine life here. I'm fortunate to have a chance to go in, dive into the water and see how much like coral reef fishes are there. It's beautiful, amazing, amazing, beautiful. As you can see on the beach here on the island, not many people because this area is very untouched. Unfortunately, what I'm going to show you right now, you will see me at the back with tons of waste. You can guess what it is. It's plastic. Everywhere you go, no matter how far, how pristine the island that you go, you still see this plastic waste. See? Plastic bottle, plastic cup, plastic bag, styrofoam, you know. It's along on the beach. So what I'm going to tell you and what I want to bring a message is, please start refusing using plastic today. The solution is simple, right? Stop using them, stop producing them. We have to find alternative. So hopefully what I'm going to show you today can inspire you to start, you know, bringing your reusable bottle when you go to work, bringing your reusable bag when you go to supermarket to shop.
Várias vezes eu fico mesmo assustada e chocada, mas eu tento sempre utilizar isso de forma produtiva para, em inglês dizemos fuel, para servir como combustível para esta força que eu tenho. Eu tornei-me vegan com 16 anos e isso abriu-me a muitas coisas. A indústria agropecuária é a mais poluente porque para fazer crescer os animais que nós depois vamos consumir é preciso de terreno, é preciso de alimentos, é preciso de água para fazer esses alimentos crescerem e é preciso também água para o animal, portanto é preciso muitos recursos. A vaca come muito e para além disso na digestão produz um gás chamado metano que tem um efeito bastante maior do que o dióxido de carbono. Que se nós consumimos estamos a causar a maior poluição e portanto não é eficiente, não é uma forma eficiente, porque se nós tentássemos utilizar esse terreno, esses recursos para consumir diretamente, vamos poder alimentar muito mais gente com menos recursos, menos água, menos gastos. Pronto, ser vegan é a forma mais eficiente, a forma mais fácil de nós ajudarmos o ambiente sem pensar no plástico, porque o plástico também é muito importante.
It's very sad that, you know, when you visit to very beautiful places and you feel shocked about all this plastic around you and you know.
So hopefully people in power listen to us and listen to people who are losing their future and then urge the government to us act as soon as possible. So I hope after these people are all going together to fight for the better future, better environment.
Se nós não tomarmos a iniciativa, então a mudança não vai ser feita. Nós precisamos mesmo fazer tudo o que nós podemos, juntar-nos aos movimentos que já estão a ficar tão fortes. É como Gandhi diz, be the change you wish to see in the world. Porque só assim...
My name is Rita Tavares-Teles. I've learned that you are never too small to make a difference.
La ventana para una oportunidad está todavía abierta, todavía estamos
We don't want fossil fuels anymore.
No dejemos que se cierre.
Aujourd'hui, force est de constater que notre jeunesse, parfois nous-mêmes, ne comprenons plus rien au fonctionnement de ce monde.
I invite all of us to be that hummingbird that puts out the forest fire by fetching water with its small beak as all the other animals, including the elephant, told her it was impossible.
This is the biggest climate strike ever in history.
We believe that an ounce of practice is worth more than a ton of preaching.
See the example of Bhutan. Carbon negative today. We didn't really bother whether we are in the least developed countries group or not, because we always approach philosophy of cross-national happiness.
Do you think they hear us?
The Alliance of Small Island States needs to keep temperatures increases in this global community to less than 1.5 to stay alive. Not to thrive, but to stay alive.
We're building a coalition between groups from Extinction Rebellion to Fridays for Future around the world. And we're looking towards November 29th as Black Friday, and we're going to shut it down.
I encourage you to go on. Some people say, oh, it's very dangerous, very complicated, all these young people, be careful. No, I'm not careful at all.
When I was about 8 years old, I first heard about something called climate change or global warming. Our house is on fire. We are facing a disaster of unspoken sufferings for enormous amounts of people.
Muitos dirão um dia que foi por ela que ficaram a saber que o planeta está doente quando eram crianças. Um problema existencial desnecessário e não foi por falta de aviso.
Hello, I'm Severin Suzuki speaking for ECHO, the Environmental Children's Organization. We're a group of 12 and 13-year-olds trying to make a difference. Vanessa Setti, Morgan Geisler, Michelle Quigg, and me. We've raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults you must change your ways. I am here to speak for all generations to come. I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests full of birds and butterflies, but now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. Did you have to worry of these things when you were my age? All this is happening before our eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. You are deciding what kind of a world we are growing up in. Parents should be able to comfort their children by saying, everything's going to be all right. It's not the end of the world, and we're doing the best we can. But I don't think you can say that to us anymore. Are we even on your list of priorities?
Ninguém ouviu. Eram 4 crianças há 27 anos. Hoje é um movimento cívico de milhões de pessoas.
Voltaremos para a semana com mais uma TDM reportagem. Até lá, muito boa noite.